Thank you for listening to the TTalks.net podcast, the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex DeLuca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Woo! Ralph, man,
right.
Good evening. How you doing, bro?
Well, good evening, Alex. How you doing?
Good evening, Ralph. Hollywood to Naples and around the world. I'm doing good. Alive and kicking. Back in the saddle here for T Talks Live, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to give you the big tips, big wins on the daily. And we take off on the weekends.
Yes, we work hard so we can play hard and spend time with the familia. You know what I mean?
The familia, the ones we love. That's at the end of the day. I actually commented on a friend's post, and it was, not being rich. I'm like, look, brother, we might not be rich, but we're family rich, and that's what counts. That's what means the most.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, I'm trying to produce. I'm trying to run the show and trying to make things happening on my side. So if I'm a little distracted, now you know.
And you know that this is a learning experience. If you have been a part of this, there's some of us that have been tracking since day one. Not too many people other than friends and family, to be honest, but
that's okay. But you gotta start somewhere.
But look, it's been fun. Even last night, deal with us. The audio might not be the best. If I go like that on my desk and I click, we're still ironing out the absurd noises in the background to make this show as impactful and easy on the ears as possible.
Well, we can only try, and the most important thing is it's all about the content. We might not be the greatest people. We might not look the greatest. No makeup. This is raw as it could be. But the one thing is that we have is great intention, and more importantly is that not only do we have great intentions, but we've been there, done that, and I feel
are doing it right now.
And we're on top of our game. So
that's it.
And we feel good. I know you're killing it on your side. We're killing it on our side, and we just want to share it. I always say that sharing is caring, and this is what we're doing. We're giving back to the community. We're giving back to you, the listener, and you do what you want to do with it. We give you, I always say when I'm recruiting, I'm going to give you all the tools necessary for you to be successful. What you do with it is going to be up to you. So
it's all up to you.
With the podcast. So are we going to keep on going? I mean, there's so many sales tips out there, and I think we got over 100 on our list, and we've been going, one by one and picking one here, one there, and it was really interesting. Some of the stuff you kind of forget about it, and
you really
try to bring
do.
it back and say, you know what, I should be doing this.
No, yeah, and I even yesterday, last night, I caught myself, rethinking of things that I can do to make my business on a daily better. You try to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but we are human. So more the repetition in the mind, the more, times that you can do to create a habit. What do they say? It takes 21 days to create a habit. Some say it takes 30 days. But look, for all of you that don't know, I've been on a keto-friendly diet. I have been intermittent fasting, and it literally took 30 days to make a difference in my life. Almost 30 pounds. I tell you what, it was a consistent habit effort. And that's just in all aspects of business,
Awesome.
But
absolutely. I think that habits are, they can make you or break you. And typically, what you want to do is that you want to go ahead and create change, especially if you think that you're not where you need to be or you want to be. And there's a difference between, I love, the difference between 211 degrees and 212 degrees. What's the difference?
Just that 1 degree makes a world of difference. What happens, What does it take? That blood, sweat, and tears, that sweat equity that turns the heater on and get going. Look, we all have somebody out there and reasons to put fire under our butt, but look, it's a game changing experience. I know Grant Cardone right around the corner. He's having his huge 10x experience. Look, that guy is action packed, full of energy. I don't think I'll go to the 10x experiences. I'd love to be maybe a one-on-one if I can use it right off at one point, to sit down with the man, the myth, the legend. But I'm not even in the shoes that big to sign a check to meet with that guy. But he's cool to follow. One of those guys that came from almost nothing and built an empire.
Yeah, I mean, there's different school of thoughts. I'll reserve. I always say that if I don't have anything nice to say, you just keep it to yourself.
Look, man, the guy has that Gulfstream freaking Learjet in every room he walks into on purpose because he wants to make it feel normal that he has that jet. It's the only reason he does that, and he flaunts his stuff. It's almost unreal, dude.
I'm more of an Anthony Robbins type of guy. Cardone is the millennium type of guy, flashiness, and I made it, and this is what I got, and there's a
Tony's
lot of ways
great though. Yeah, of course. And they, at the end of the day, it all goes back to my main man Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. They're the creators. They're the legends of this, and everybody else has recreated the path and shown that it's possible. But yeah, Tony Robbins is phenomenal.
You heard about
great guy.
The Frank Cardone Cardone and I think it's Kern. There was some fallout back in November.
Well, Frank Kern and Gary Halbert. Well, Gary Halbert was Frank Kern's main mentor, and they're huge in copywriting, like the number one copywriting people on the planet. That's what they do. That's what I aspire to be at the end of the day, to be a great marketer as a copywriter. What does that mean? Be able to write literature that the audience goes to you without you needing to sell them. Frank Kern is the man, the myth, the legend. He could be the whole madness behind Grant Cardone, which obviously he probably is for the copywriting purposes. But hey, hats off to Grant Cardone, man. He lost that guy because he didn't pay him. If you can find that player and put him in your team, you're a winner. So that goes back to my man Napoleon Hill at the end of the day, the mastermind. You got to find that group. He found Elon Musk. He finds the group. So who do you aspire to be, the talent or the man to find the talent and put it together?
Well, it's the same scenario. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
True that, right?
All right, so back to our topic.
That was juicy stuff, though. But that's good topic. But
awesome. So one sentence sales tip that every rep should know. And,
one sentence sales tip.
I believe we were talking about conversation sales tip.
Is that the one we left off at? Because I know we were talking about a huge one right before we signed off about don't ever lie. We got into that aspect, just things that you shouldn't do, and calling sales tips at the end of the day. But yeah, I think the conversation sales tips was the next piece.
That was our last. That was our end piece, and now we go into presentation. Your show. This is what we live for. Right?
Live or die. It's it reminds me of Little League, and in minor leagues you're like 13, 14 years old. You get the butterflies before you step up to bat. Those butterflies are gone now, and I'm kind we're kind of the Broadway masters. The curtain goes up, and yes, we put on the show. We're the energy, the atmosphere, as I say it again, are the best thing that's happened to most of these people since probably COVID.
Well, and one of the interesting fact, and I know that a lot of professional players actually do, is that they will go ahead and listen to upbeat songs before your sales call. It's almost like, Eye of the Tiger.
Yes.
It's
Didn't we play that the first hour of our existence?
Yeah, we got flagged under YouTube for copyright.
But dude, what an epic soundtrack to have in your background.
Yeah, definitely Sylvester Stallone. But yeah, just listening to upbeat music right before your sales call. Get in the mood, get into that hype, because that's all it is. You got to hype yourself, and regardless of what's happening, COVID-19, World War X, whatever it is,
we still got to eat.
Your in-laws are in town. Your girlfriend just kicked you out. It doesn't matter when
somebody
you walk
kicked
in
your
that
cat.
door. It's game on.
We talk about that. Put on your blinders. It's showtime. The curtain goes up. This is your money-making experience. Look, you leave your problems at the door, your car door, the front door, whatever door, before you see that client, and you throw on your face and you put on that show. The energizing song. What was I thinking about? The Office. That's a TV show, right? The Office.
Office is a TV show.
And they start they're rocking out in the car, slamming on the dashboard, and they go in and sell the coffee machine and paper, for crying out loud. Like, that is epic. I've done that many times. My boy Anthony Vaca could attune to that. We've knocked on doors, and so many moments where we get into the store or go out into the field where we're just blaring the music in the van. And it's all about energizing. And even in the call centers, they have coffee and espresso machines in there for a reason.
It's to get everybody wired up.
Juice. It's not only
Juiced up.
coffee. It's join us in creating excitement.
Now, this is one thing that I've been preaching, and there's been some people that it's been harder, but it's just common sense, is that only present the solution that is relevant to the people in front of you.
What do you mean by that, Ralph? Please.
All right, so I'm buying a roof, right? And
Yep.
And I'm telling you that I'm looking to flip this house in 5 years. I'm not gonna have it more than 7. Do you think this guy? I'm gonna tell him, go ahead and why don't you bump up to a 50-year shingle or 25-year shingle and he's looking for price? You're going to give him all the bells and whistles, or you're going to give him just the necessary evil for him to be able to, change the roof?
Well, let's rewind. What did he want?
He just wanted a roof.
That's it?
A plain roof.
All right. He doesn't want solar vents.
He doesn't want ridge. He doesn't want secondary water barrier. He does not want a ridge.
He doesn't want a metal roof.
He does not want a metal roof, regardless of what you think or what you want to sell. He wants a shingle 3-tab roof.
So gosh darn it, for all of our listeners, we will get off on topic and on topic and off topic. But please, when you're in front of that homeowner, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We listen and we respond and we react to what they say, whatever they want. If they're not telling you what they want, we know how to create a need, because that's what we do in this business. But they'll tell you, and that's why the sales process is key, and pulling out information is 100% necessary for success.
Well, it's the research, and we talked on some of this stuff. You have to be, you need to ask the right question. Whatever you're selling, just ask the right question so they can give you the answer. You sell yourself, you create a need. You gotta create the need, and the way you create the need is by asking the question to know what you gotta create, and then you satisfy the need. So basically, if they're asking for oranges, the last thing you want to give them is apple.
Always want to compare apples to apples at the same time. Great topic there.
Yeah, I want orange. Oh, you want an apple pie? No, I want oranges. That's what I called you for.
Jeez, what are you doing? Get out of here with the
Get
pie.
Out of here. Get out of here.
Get out of here. This is the door. And how many times, even today I walked in, the guy says, "Oh, I'm so glad you gave me all the information because the last person came here. She was a girl. She didn't walk the roof or do anything. Being a girl doesn't mean anything, but she just gave me a quote. I told her about, I had concerns about this, that, and area. She's like, oh yeah, 120 sheets of dollars a sheet of plywood, and that's it. And the guy's like, that's it. You don't have anything about the company? She's like, I work for X. I was like, all right. I guess the art of sales training has kind of diluted throughout time. I don't know.
Well, I think that sometimes we're so fast to we need leads, and let's just get somebody, and then hopefully somebody says that I can sell, and you throw them out there, and you're hoping that something sticks, and you're losing so much money by doing that.
Oh yeah.
And you just wasted a lead, and all you got to do is just stop and think. If I would have sent my top guy on 10 leads, what's my production compared to sending my top guy to 2 leads, and then I spread out the other 8 to 5 other people because I'm looking for quantity? Do you think you're going to get the same revenue?
That's a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
Well, do you think you're going to get the same revenue? Okay,
the now revenue?
All right.
The now revenue? No. But the planting the seed? Possible.
Okay, so let me ask you. It's the bottom of the ninth, okay?
Get technical now.
2 outs. Who are you going to put as your hitter?
Ooh, who's my hitter or who's my pitcher?
No, who's your hitter?
Oof, A-Rod. Jeter. Ichiro.
Why?
Because
they're
on base percentage. That's it.
They're producers. Now,
Rivera is coming out of the bullpen if he said pitcher, though.
So the bottom line is that, yes, you can go ahead and when you say double-edged sword, we got to keep in mind that, you do want to train these individuals, but I would not send that individual to a $1 million.
Listen, the fact that they're going to a $10,000 job is mind-blowing to me with that type of presentation, with that type of gun loaded in their holster. What are they? I don't know. What are you shooting? A little BB gun or something compared to...
No, the way you start them off, and this is part of your training, is that you should start them off on a rehash, something that somebody already went and they couldn't sell. You give them opportunities for them to sharpen it up. Then you put them in front of you and you say, now go ahead and sell me, until you have the confidence that they have the confidence to go ahead and you gotta give them something to train.
No, yeah, and that goes on to a presentation deck. Look, if you're using a presentation deck in your sales process, like I have 10 steps that I try to touch base on every one of my appointments, and they are it's all a reason behind it, but don't be afraid to one, divert from that, or just don't have that control the meeting. You control the meeting. You manage the time. It's all your show at the end of the day. I definitely want to touch base on the presentation part, but this is our time to shine. It's you turn the lead into gold or poop at the same time. So, we don't waste time. We have a sense of urgency in the house, and if there's a product to be sold and there's a want, we give it to them.
And if you notice on the next sentence, why don't you bring that up? Because I know we just said it, but I just want to hear it one more time.
Which one was that?
Buyers don't care about your products. Bells and whistles.
Yeah, they don't care about the product bells and whistles, and instead highlight how those bells and whistles translate into real business value for them. And that's huge, creating value in your product.
Well, and depending on the field, but let's talk about home improvement. Any field. There's not too many products out there that there's not a competitor for. Even Tesla. I mean, we can say.
Well, look at Lucid's coming up. Humvee's dropping that truck. Like, that stock is going to the moon. And I love Elon Musk. He's a phenomenal character. Dodge got wings over the weekend. Do you see that?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, it's still not doing too good.
What are you talking about? I bought it at .0002. It's at .05. It's doing great. Okay.
Doing great. My wife, I saw some kid get in at .79. I felt bad for him. But what are you gonna do? I sold the Super Bowl night, all of it, and then I have a nice drone. I've reinvested in other stocks.
Hey, you know what? And this is a problem that a lot of people go through, is that we become so complacent of the things that you're saying that is doing, is not doing too good, and I'm like, it's all how you perceive it. When you bought it at
perception is
and it's a
100%.
I mean,
Yeah, of course.
I'll take that.
Come on. Why don't you sell at .8 and rebuy him, fool?
All right.
You think it'll ever get to $1?
You know what? If I
it has to be regulated.
If I knew, well, they're actually talked about putting some Dodge on the ATM machine, so that's going to be very interesting to see. But back on topic here.
Dodge.
Don't be afraid to ditch your presentation agenda if the prospect is focusing on different
topic here. I try to touch base on that one. Yeah, don't be afraid to ditch your presentation. Explain that a little bit more in different topic, Gary. What does that mean?
Well, and you should be able to read your buyer. Sometimes you might already have that person sold, and the minute you hear the buying signal, you should stop and say, give me a second, let me just go get the sales form. Even though if you haven't completed your presentation, the last thing you want to do is say, hold on, let me just finish the whole process, and they already told you I want to do it. Stop, please, do it.
Sign them up, write the contract, don't be afraid, tell them to grab the checkbook or get the social ready for financing. Let's go. I got lunch to eat.
All right, let's go on to the next.
Adapt to your customers' buying process rather than trying to force them through your funnel. What do you think about that one? Adapt to your customers' buying process. Rather than your funnel. Like, what's their timeline? Do they want to shop? Are you going to be that arm twister? Are you going to let them, feel like they're not pressured by, I used to be that guy. I had to be that guy because I was the most expensive guy. If I let somebody else win in there, I lost the deal. But, being in the competitive realm, you don't have to be that arm twister anymore. And you sell yourself and you sell your company. And if you did a good job, you win.
Well, let's put it this way. They're the buyers. Okay, even though it's your show, it's their money. Okay, so
yes, until it's in your bank account.
So if they say bow down, you're gonna say, how far down do you want me to bow?
Listen, I'm pretty stubborn. Watch out there.
So if they tell you this is what and you should be using the sentence. So what will it take for us to go ahead and wrap this thing up? And believe it or not, a lot of people don't like asking that question. But I assure you that if you start asking that question, you probably will get the answer you need in order for you to get this thing done.
Say that question one more time.
If you tell them, what do we need to do in order for us to go ahead and move forward on this deal? Whatever you're selling. I don't care if you're selling widget, caskets, flowers,
vacuums, kitchen,
Carrico
knives,
toe clippers, whatever
pots
it
and
is.
pans.
What is it going to take for us to go ahead and make this thing work for both?
A lot of people are afraid to ask that question at the end of the day. What is it like? What are you afraid of the answer of? I live for the no's and die for the yeses at the end of the day. It's you gotta ask.
But that's what differentiate a mediocre salesperson, pardon my French, and a superstar. The superstar knows exactly what they want and how they need to get there, and and they're going to ask the questions that's going to give them the results. And we could say it until we're blue, and some people they're too timid, they're too shy, they think they're going to go ahead and hurt somebody's feeling. And if that's the case, then I'm going to recommend something. And no offense to anybody. No offense to anybody. But you need to be an order taker, not a salesperson.
Or just work in a warehouse, a mindless job. There's nothing wrong with that. It's tough. And anybody can go through it and build the thick skin and humility that you need to be a salesperson. You need to deal with people on a daily basis. I mean, good people, mean people, nice people, yellow people, blue people, purple people. It doesn't matter. Everybody it handles you in a different way. I come home, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I put on 5 shows a day. No matter what it is, even if I'm, going to pick up a permit package, or I'm introducing myself to a new company about selling, leads to, or I'm walking into an apartment complex about the roof, or I'm going to a homeowner about their roof. I just lied. I put on 10 different shows a day if I think about it, because I'm not just counting my appointments at that point. It's, and it all goes back to you're selling the presentation, and you're selling yourself, and you're selling the company. It's your energy that sells things. People buy you. I've worked for 25 different companies in my life.
25.
They buy me. I'm being, I'm kind of ridiculous. I was just talking with my family camping this weekend. They're like, Uncle Al or Cousin Alex, I don't even ask you what you do anymore. I'm like, yeah, don't bother. I do a lot of things, but you know what I like about them all is that I keep my hair on my head now. I'm not stressed out, and I enjoy what I do. So I don't care that I'm stretched out. I enjoy absolutely everything I do, including this podcast where we try to help as many people as we can in 30 minutes a night.
Well, and it's a different stress, though. It's completely different.
It's an energy, though. It's not like stress is a downer. It's not a downer.
Exactly. So it's a great motivating factor, and the biggest thing about anything that you do is that there's always, you're getting a reward after it. A lot of times, a lot of people might put energy and not necessarily the right energy, and they're not getting the reward that they're looking for, and that is what creates the stress that is the bad stress instead of the good stress. So if you focus on the positive, then you are going to have a better chance of having a fruitful salesman life.
That's it. It's a roller coaster. Oh my God. Get used to the ups and the downs, but I tell you what, it's all worth it. The learning experience, the relationships that you create, all of that stuff. We still have a huge topic, which is closing tips. But once again, on Tea Talks, we try to cram everything into this lovely half hour, but we have some juicy stuff for next episode. Anything else we want to touch base with on tonight before we're out of here, Ralph?
I did want to talk about that roller coaster,
Go ahead. Yeah.
The one thing that you do is that you strap yourself very well and you have fun with it. So, and what you should do is try to create that cushion, because, I always talk about the monkey in your back, okay? If you're having to think about finance and you're having to think about all these different things
anything financial, and sales is a commission-based job. That's a tough deed until you get, like Ralph says, you're 6 months away, and you give yourself a thinking cushion there for sure.
Well, and that's one of the first things you should do is make sure you set yourself a cushion, because it just feels great that you can literally walk away and not feel the pressure and feel good about it. Whereas if you're behind the 8 ball all the time because you're just overspending, or you made $20,000 last month and you spent $18,000 of it and just threw it out, and you should kind of try to do an average out and set a cushion up. So that roller coaster, you're minimizing the roller coaster, the financial roller coaster, and all you're doing is focusing on the fun part of the roller coaster that goes with the salesmanship.
That's it, man. And just think about it. The biggest, baddest roller coaster that might be the scariest to get on, but hey, man, it's a thrill to ride.
Awesome. Yeah, and enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Just bring your barf bag.
And this is Rafael Rodriguez from Hollywood, Florida. Man, the 30-minute went so quick. It's
It did, man.
always fun to talk to you, Alex, at
That's it.
10 o'clock at night.
Good Tea Talk topics. My name's Alexander DeLuca. I'm signing out from Naples. My man Rafael, we're giving you good content, good juicy stuff to think about and something to talk about tomorrow. Please, if you guys have any questions, tips, or concerns, or just want us to talk about something or shout out, please comment below. Hey, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at raphael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalksnet and Facebook at ttalksnet. Please rate us and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will tea talk later.